Welcome to the North Phoenix Suburbanstead. My name is Rich. This is episode 3 in the Desert Garden and Food Forest series. For those who are new to the channel, Suburbanstead means DIY within the construct of rules: climate, space, access, financial budget, and community regulations. It's neither homestead nor off-grid nor farm life in the city. It's about testing and obtaining skills. It's about building cool stuff. In episode 1, we covered preparation. After we documented our desires, objectives, and property layout, we got to work on tool inventory and repair and began building things we needed, like workbenches. In episode 2, we covered our first plant growing-based project. Specifically, the vegetable garden. We built the raised beds and then added structural components to accommodate seasonality. In this episode, we review the very beginning items of constructing the food forest. Specifically, we build an arbor bench and we start establishing grapes for shade. Before we get into detail, allow me to share the backstory. Our desire was to fall in love with our home again, to test our skills and enjoy the fruits of our labor. We were inspired by our neighbor and also various YouTube content creators. We started researching for ideas and know-how. We quickly learned that everyone has an opinion, meaning we talked to 10 different people about plants and irrigation, soil in a desert climate, and we got 10 different answers. Then we came across Greg Peterson with the Urban Farm. Greg was different. He talked about microclimates, he talked about desire, and his content helped guide us with our decisions. We learned about remedies to address the harsh desert summer. Specifically, to build a microclimate by addressing the heat with wall coverings, ground coverings, and afternoon shade from the brutal western sun. We had 2 well-established desert willow trees that we planted years ago. They provided great shade. We decided to plant grapes for additional shade and build an arbor bench to support the vines in addition to allowing the vines growing up the trees. This is the finished product, but this wasn't the first time we built an arbor bench. In the summer of 2000, we came across the idea and plans from Sunset magazine. We followed the plans verbatim. These pictures are from July 2000. Notice the depth of the bench and the lattice side panels. Also, to hide the carriage bolts, we used 1-inch copper plumbing end caps. Oh yeah, we also tried grapes here, but only because we thought it looked cool. We recall the bench part being too deep. It was awkward sitting when you rested your back against the backrest, so the new one would be 4 inches less in depth. Also, the lattice gave it too much of a manufactured look, so we used pallet wood this time. We debated using the copper end caps again, but instead we chose to cover the carriage bolts with wood dowel caps. We sourced the wood and fasteners and decided to use a locally reclaimed live edge slab for the bench. The next step was to add the grapes on both sides of the bench, but we didn't want to just plant them in the ground. We wanted to give the grapes every chance to thrive for a really long time. We wanted to amend the soil and allow for at least 6 inches of woody mulch. Thank you again, Greg Peterson with the Urban Farm. So we got to work building the grape boxes. In January of 2020, we picked up the red flame grapes we ordered from the urban farm and planted them straight away. They immediately started growing. Just kidding. This was a doll hand we found in the backyard. Anyway, we had several nights in a row of below freezing temperatures, so we protected them with insulation and pillowcases. And as we do on the North Phoenix Suburbanstead, we broke out the branding iron and burned the logo into the boxes. The grapes thrived. They grew really fast up into the established trees just as we planned. A year later, they did so well, we had our first crop of grapes. But we quickly removed all the fruit as this was only our second spring and we wanted the focus on establishing a really solid root system. Building the Arbor Bench and growing grapevines marked the beginning of establishing the food forest. In the next video of the Desert Garden and Food Forest series, episode 4, we build more things, including backyard fun stuff like Team Bigfoot Racing and giant Jenga blocks. Thanks for watching. We hope you found this video entertaining and informative. If you haven't done so already, hit subscribe and we'll see you on the next video. A big thank you to everyone who subscribed. It really helps the channel. In your honor, check out this bonus footage as it's a prelude to what's coming soon.